Hey, hello. Got a surprise for you guys. We got Diana Robinson back from the land of the astrology, of the India land. And
Hello.
how are you, Diana?
I am good. I am landing still and figuring out my new life still, but I'm good. I'm yeah, learning to ride the waves a lot differently these days, so that's nice.
I think I think landing is a good metaphor for this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and this last new moon, isn't it? We're just trying to line to land from that incredible adventure that's been unfolding, huh?
Yeah, the eclipse season and the conjunction and all the newness of the new astrological year. It's definitely a lot to land in, and luckily it's Taurus season, so I do feel that like yearning for grounding and but it's also very full and busy time of year as everything builds.
Ha ha, it's about to come into Gemini season, so all that grounding's about to go out the window. We'll still have some grounding going on, but yeah, it feels like things are about to pick up in speed. All and I don't know, I found the new moon with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction to be especially significant in my process. How you been feeling it?
The new moon's been yeah, significant and I think grounding, but there's like a really calling in that Taurus need to go at your own pace. I'm feeling that very much. And then I have an idea of what the pace should be, and then reality kind of makes you have to go at its pace. So it's yeah, learning to go at the Taurus speed. The bullet just charges steady instead of busy, 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 and then kind of spinning out and forgetting to come back to your new plans, your new initiatives, and also consolidate and take care of what's going to move forward right now. A lot of consolidation.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of new beginnings and a lot of really significant changes. Of course, we've been exploring that throughout this year. So the new moon in Taurus, there's a video on it. The last video was on the new moon in Taurus. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. And this new moon in Taurus was the beginning of a lunar cycle that is being completed with this Sagittarius full moon on May 23rd, 2024. And now I've been doing something new, Diana. I've been putting the time for 6:53 in the West Coast Pacific
Mhm.
time and 9:53 a.m. on the East Coast.
I love it. I saw that in your last video. It's wonderful. It's nice to get the spectrum of the Canadian coastlines or North American coasts.
Well, it's a reality for me since I've on the East Coast and soon to be go on Atlantic time, which is going to be also we're going to be 4 hours apart. So and then of course if you're in Central or Mountain time, that changes, and then you could be in Europe for all that matters. So these times changes, and then so the Holy Grail legend in our times is what I call this video. And let's look at that and see what that says. Come on. Here's the chart of the moon, the full moon. So the moon in Sagittarius and the sun in Gemini. That's going to be much different flavor, huh? What's your what's your take on the sun in Gemini and moon in Sagittarius?
The Gemini Sag access, that's to me, that's about learning and sharing of information and wisdom. And so on the first level is the Gemini sharing of information, but then as it develops and comes to its other side of resources with others, that Sagittarius is about the knowledge and wisdom. So kind of how we share information and then what we do with that information we can use as to leading it to become wisdom. But in Gemini season, when the sun goes in Gemini, I tend to see it's a very busy time of year. I think of all the pollinators, all the little bees and birds and all the pollination that's coming. I have to share all the little seeds and pollen around.
Well, it's the one sign that leads to the solstice. And
Hmm.
so summer solstice. And so both signs, Cancer on the other side of the solstice and Gemini on this side of the solstice, are the brightest month of the year. And so, and so traditionally, um, June is the month of celebration. It's the opposite of the month of Sagittarius, which also leads to the holidays into Christmas. And so this is we're leading to kind of that big shift that occurs at the summer solstice, and we'll talk more about that. And yes, that's really good in terms of understanding the Gemini Sagittarius. Gemini meaning I want information. I want to know. I want to know what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Blah, 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 blah. And then Sagittarius, what's the meaning of that information? And so meaning versus, knowing, interesting time. And so let's look at what it means further. So, all right. So we got our sun moon opposition in Gemini and Sagittarius, and then we got our bowl shape. So the bowl shape in astrology, the bowl shape is triggered by the triad of transformation. And so here's a triad of transformation, and it goes with the moon. So have you had much experience with bowl shapes? There's different shapes of bowls. This is the most common one. It's made with uh, two, three sextile and two trines and an opposition. So it's a very flowing alignment. So three sextiles, two trines, and one opposition. What's your experience in dealing with bowl shapes in charts?
In natal charts, I find it has a lot of difference whether it's above the surface or below. So like the horizon, if it's above, there tends to be a lot more energy in the outer world and how they work or navigate in their life. If it's below the surface, it can be a little bit trickier to express or bring all the things that are happening within the person to light or to share them. Share their talents can be more challenging even. So because it's all above the surface, I think there's a lot of potential for ease. Also, like you said, the bowl with the sextiles and trines really holding most of the bowl. I think that there's a lot of ease, and then the bowl is a container, and I think of the bowl is very similar to a cup, and in tarot that is the water element. So there's this space to hold containment. Usually I've found that people with the bowl charts, there is an aspect of life they're very good at holding. But I mean, that's kind of it can be a general statement too. It depends on the person.
But that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I've been missing you. This is nice to be back working together. In my experience, bowl shapes are people that have the ability to be containers,
Okay. Yeah.
especially with the signs that are being received by the bowl shape. So then they will look at those signs to complete them, to make grand crosses and make big alignments in with those. So I have been studying, and Mary Louise von Franz and Emma Jung. Emma Jung was Carl Jung's wife, and she did excuse me, she did she only did a few books, Emma Young did, but she did a book. Her life passion, her studies were on the Holy Grail legend and the quest for the Holy Grail. And then after her departure, after her death, Carl Jung asked Mary Louise von Franz to finish the book. And it's a beautiful, beautiful book about the meaning of this we talk about the cups in the tarot. And so the cups in the tarot is the grail, and the grail is the container. The legend goes that it's the container for the blood of Christ.
Hmm.
And so the blood of Christ came to Europe in the Holy Grail. And so that's the legend. It's the blood of Christ. And the quest for that Holy Grail is symbolizes the process of individuation. So then this cup shape and this container for the blood is symbol, in alchemy is soul, it's spirit. So then we have the container for spirit. And so then that's basically saying, more mythologically exactly what you said, huh?
I love it. I got this vision too of like, because of where we are in the astrological year, the fire, the seed, and then planting the seed in Taurus into the earth so it can grow. But often what we'll do is we'll plant a seed into a little pot before we put it into the earth to get like a seed start going. So then with this container coming in Gemini, it feels like, okay, where is going to be your container next to put your seedling and let it go into the ground so it can communicate with all the allies around it. But anyways,
That's
that's the thought.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's keep going here because we got lots of information to go through. And so we have this bowl in astrology and the Holy Grail. So it's this, after all of this turmoil of the year and the sun moving through Sagittarius and Venus moving through Sagittarius and Jupiter moving to Sagittarius and then still Taurus. So with everything moving through Uranus, there's Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon. They all pass through and conjunct Uranus, and so that was very significant. And so now everything is entering into um, Gemini, and what we have is we have a Venus, Jupiter, Sun triple conjunction entering into Gemini, and then, angling the moon in opposition. And so that's a beautiful, very inspirational and creative angular relationship and very fiery, well, airy, but also fiery. Gemini is kind of, you know, really engaging. And so what do you see in that?
A lot of socializing and maybe some, I don't know, I see like the two benefics, like the two planets, Jupiter and Venus, which are thought to be very beneficial and for kind of good luck in a way,
Mhm.
relationships and bringing about results of your hard work. In Gemini with the sun, it feels like there could be a new person coming into new connections and new people coming into your lives that could bring about new possibilities.
Also, like a hoof, an easing of the tension and the channeling of all that tension we've been going through into creativity, into social, into social interactions, into celebrations of the communities that we have and that are creating. So yeah, that's going to be a beautiful shift, I think, in energy from the really kind of dense and difficult stagnation of winter, and even early spring was difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that triad of transformation's been, I think it's been some consciously and also some people consciously felt and seen in our society. And so with this Gemini aspecting that, like conjuncting the Uranus and then aspecting and bringing that triad back into a play. I wonder if it's going to be maybe bringing about new creative ways to connect and work through this triad of transformation together as a species.
Well, from now on, from the next 2 or 3 years, this triad will be almost constantly active. I
Yeah.
don't think we're coming out of orb of it. And then 2025 and 2026, it's going to be exact. So we have to talk more about that. But let's talk more about the now and what we got coming on. So then we have this Sun, Jupiter, Venus conjunction, ingress into Gemini together, bringing a real change to a social. Then we have Mercury Uranus conjunction that's going to be happening. And then we're going to have Mars Chiron conjunction that's going to be happening. And that's going to be, quite a bit, so
You're pretty
then
close by the new moon, the full moon here, hey? You're going to be feeling it by the full moon.
the full moon, you mean this Sagittarius full moon?
Yeah, like Mars is already getting pretty close to Chiron, it looks like. So we'll be feeling it.
Well, and it's also Chiron is in the sign ruled by Mars, so we've been feeling it all ever since Mars entered into Aries, because
Mm.
now it's been ruling Chiron, and we've had, every one of these planets, Mercury, Venus, and the Sun, have all conjoined Chiron with our eclipse season. So that's kind of the last main Chiron, and it's going to be triggering the eclipse point, so this theme of healing and sickness and the wounded child and the wounded inner child, that's like been really active. And then with Mars, the warrior in Aries, conjuncting Chiron, that's going to be very significant. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes angle to Saturn and back to Uranus, and so that Saturn Uranus sextile and the Mars Chiron, so discipline and innovation and revolution, so that Saturn Uranus complex of energy with the Mars Chiron. And this doesn't really make connection with the sun or the moon, so it's kind of like a little bit more unconscious, but the theme of healing still remains quite important.
Hmm.
And then the Mercury Uranus conjunction, and what do you see with that?
So Mercury there it's going to be, it's at 11 degrees of Taurus. Okay, so it's definitely past its retrograde time. Mercury and Uranus, I mean, isn't that it's the lower octave and the higher octave of communication? It's often referred to the lower mind, the higher mind.
Yes.
Maybe new brilliant ideas and how to move forward.
The only problem with the Mercury Uranus conjunction in Taurus is that it's both really fast and really slow. Mercury in Taurus is communication that's slow and deliberate,
Yeah.
very methodical, doesn't get too excited. And Uranus in Taurus is like the ground shaking, so I think deliberate, clear communication. I like to look at Mercury Uranus angles in natal charts to be indication of some kind of very active mental capabilities, sign of genius. And so lots of inspiration. And so Mercury, Uranus, and Mars, Chiron, those will happen after the full moon as we start moving towards the new moon in Gemini, which is going to be really fun. So, because then by the new moon in Gemini, we'll have Jupiter, Venus, Sun, and Mercury, and it's going to be Mercury ruled. So then, that new moon is going to be very social, I would imagine, and very close to the solstice as well.
Yeah, I guess that's when things will really pick up because for this Sagittarius full moon, even though it starts Gemini season with Mercury ruling it in Taurus, I guess it could give us a bit more of a grounded start to Gemini season.
And so that brings us to the triad of transformation and what that means to you, to us, you know. And so we have a playlist, the triad of transformation. We have 7 videos on it. That's a really major thing. And with the last with the last new moon, new moon in Taurus, it became back in orb. So what do you think that's going to bring to the solstice and to this end of spring?
I think that, well, it's hard to say. Like, there's definitely been a lot of collective crisis all around in the talk, at least, and on social media and news outlets as we look at many potential paths forward on the earth right now.
Well,
But it hasn't been so, yeah, I don't know. I'm still definitely feeling into this triad. It's a hard thing for me to tune into at times. I do feel often I'll connect with Pluto the most out of the farther planets, but
well, we've been getting a lot of focus on Uranus with all of those planets conjuncting Uranus. And of course, Neptune, you know, on the best of time, it's hard to really know what's going on with that. And then we've been getting giving a lot of press to Pluto for sure. But you know, I don't know if you remember a band called the Weird Sisters out of Manitoba. But the Weird Sisters, they had a song, "Hey, hey, look out, the world's on fire." uh, and I think that that if you know look at the geopolitical situation right now, hey hey, look out, the world's on fire. And you know there's a lot of concern geopolitically and economically and you know politically. Oh my God.
yeah.
So you know those are collective powers, and so uh, that's going to be very interesting to see how it plays itself out. And then we'll do more exploration on that. I want to do a couple of videos. I'm still on the road. I'm still in Saint-Jean in Quebec. My car's been broken down, but it's finally been repaired, and then we'll be settling, you know, in the next week in the Magdalene Islands. So then once I get settled, I'll work on some more complex videos for you guys. So blah 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 blah. How we doing?
Think we're doing good.
So then let's go to the alchemical opportunities. We love those alchemical opportunities. And what's interesting is all the conjunctions that are happening. You know, so you know, you're probably going to get this video before the 18th. So we have a Venus conjunction with Uranus. We have a Sun conjunct Jupiter, all on the 18th. Then we have this Sun enters Gemini on the 20th with Jupiter and Venus, you know, so we talked about that. And then the Sagittarius full moon on the 3rd degree. So that's what we've been talking about. And then on the 23rd, also, we have the Venus Jupiter conjunction. Then we have the Mars Chiron conjunction on the 29th, Mercury Uranus conjunction on the 31st, Venus Sun conjunction on the 3rd, and then Mercury Jupiter conjunction on the 4th, and then the Gemini new moon. So that's a lot of conjunction.
That is a lot. Wow, we're ending out May with a lot of new connections.
Well, so let's talk about conjunctions and what they mean. You know, conjunctions are very important. Unlike all the other, you know, aspects, the conjunction represents two things. It represents an ending and a beginning. So
Right.
leading to a conjunction, you have the end of a cycle. And then the point of the conjunction is the beginning of a new cycle. So there's always a grieving, a letting go, a conclusion, and then there is a setting of intention and a new beginning. And so then whenever two planets conjoin, then we have the beginning of a new planetary cycle. And so then we have to like take some time here to flesh out all these cycles that are beginning. But that really feels that way. It feels like we're really at a very powerful new beginning. I know I am, and I know you are, and we're curious how you're experiencing it. I know a lot of people have been sharing with us on the comment section about their own process, and it's been really nice to share with that with you with everybody. We get the feeling that the Healer and the Dreamer Astrology channel is a nice little community, and it's growing. We're 31 subscribers away from 2000, so that's exciting.
Oh, good job. Woohoo.
Woohoo! So one day we'll have 5,000, but not yet. And those are small numbers anyway, but we don't care. We're here to support you, and we're so glad you're joining us. And so let's look at these conjunctions. So let's talk about first a Venus conjunct Uranus.
It's big. Feels like Venus, love and relationships, with Uranus finding new ways. It's like the part of us that wants to connect, and Uranus is the part that wants to emancipate.
Yeah, Venus conjunct, when you see Venus in angle to Uranus in charts, natal charts, this is a very unruly and difficult Venus, but this is in Taurus, so it's ruled, so Venus is very strong. So chances are that relationships and creativity are being really inspired by the Uranian need to evolve. What's the Sun conjunct Uranus, Jupiter feel like to you?
Whoa, big. And the two biggest, shiniest things out there for us.
It's the beginning of a year cycle. And so, yes, how we shine our light into the world, that's beautiful. Then running out of time. So,
oh, okay.
So then we have 10 minutes left, so we're good. So Sun enters Gemini, so that we talked about, then Sagittarius full moon, and then Venus, Jupiter.
So now shining our light out in the world, but also relating with other people.
Well, it's very, and it's a Taurus, Venus, Jupiter leaving, coming into Gemini. So it's like Venus is really big, and this is a very important point. The Venus Sun conjunction, it's the Venus goes from the morning star to the evening star. Now we're going to be seeing Venus at sunset, and it's a major point in the Venus cycle, and we'll do a video on that. So the Sun Venus conjunction on June 3rd is major. Then we talked about the Mercury Uranus conjunction, and we talked about the Mars Chiron conjunction. So then what's a Mercury Jupiter conjunction for you?
What is it for you? Mercury, Jupiter.
In Gemini, that's like big communication, big inspiration, and it's really close to the new moon. So we're gonna have a Venus, so everything's gonna be in Gemini, and at the new moon, Gemini new moon, the Venus will still be in exact conjunction with the Sun. So Venus will be in exact conjunction with the Sun for quite a while. And so this is a big, big signature. And then we have Jupiter with that, making it even bigger. And then we get that Mercury Chiron, and I'm sorry, Mercury Uranus genius and Mars Chiron need to heal. So that makes for quite a bit of energy leading to, after this Sagittarius full moon, leading to the Sagittarius full moon, and then going back into the next cycle, beginning of cycle with the Gemini new moon. Blah, 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 blah. How does that
Doing
feel?
Feels good. It feels like, I mean, Jupiter and Venus are playing some big parts over the next few weeks. And like I said, like they're both benefic planets. So not in the idea of getting hopes too high up, but I see a lot of potential for a lot of good luck and prosperous things after such a shaky Aries and Taurus season with the eclipse and the conjunction. I feel like there's a lot of space being made, and maybe that's again the container to really to have a lot of new creative inspiration, new connection with spirit, new connections with people, and good luck to come through. Jupiter and Venus are typically pretty good luck signs.
Well, especially after all the hard work we've been putting through
Mm.
this whole beginning of 2024, and it's hard to believe, but already we're halfway through 2024. And that's coming to the crescendo, and the days have been getting longer and longer. And I don't know if you noticed, but like it's bright, at around 4:30, and then and the days are going to be so long, and we're going to be so amped up with all the energy, and then boom, the days are going to start getting shorter again. So this is a big shift. We're coming to the crescendo of the year. Everything we've been working hard at is going to be realized, and then we're going to start with the process of the light, so going back to more of an introverted, but we're going to have summer first, right?
Yeah.
And then what's your prediction for summer?
Ooh, I haven't looked at the charts a lot yet. Um, yeah, I don't feel like I can speak to that yet until I look at the charts.
So let's do that in our studies. Let's look at doing a solstice video and a prediction for summer. uh, I feel that summer will be a little bit more quiet, and well, not quiet, but a little bit lighter in energy. I think it'll be moving, but quite fast. But I see fall to be very, very bad. We talked about that in our video on the coming on 2024, how um, consequential fall will be. And so all the things that I've built throughout 2024, and then summer, things will, move, will be very interesting to see how summer goes. But then by the time fall comes along, I would imagine that, especially around the eclipse season, we're going to visit some very familiar themes, and we have a lot of charts that are going to be triggering the triad transformation. So that's going to be really the fall as it emerges. Huh? I mean, the rest of
The
the year.
fall, a whole other beast. The fall will be interesting, but good time to practice stretching and resourcing yourself now before that comes.
Well, I think we're all been in training, but really, I mean, is it ever not interesting?
Yeah, that's true.
That's why we always, when my motto, I guess, or my what an adventure, huh?
One
What an adventure. And so
of
if
my used to always say there's never a dull moment, and it's very true.
no. No, no, no. So we're really grateful that if you've still on the video and you've watched the whole thing, we're really grateful that you are supporting us and our work. Do comment, put a thumbs up, and also share if you can. And Deanna, it was wonderful getting to see you.
Likewise, Martin. Oh, how I've missed you. And it's so nice to also connect with all of you on this channel again. I hope to find more regularity again with this.
It was just a question of getting going again. And so we'll keep you informed, and we'll keep going. And anything else?
Mm, be well. No.
Exactly. Yes. Happy trails. We'll catch you later. Oh, yeah, maybe I will do this. If you like my work and you want some dream interpretation or some um, Astrological reading. I'm at the Healer and the Dreamer Astrology. This is Martin Comtois, Martin Comtois, dream analyst and astrologer, and my email is spiritofthetimes108@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Deanna, that was wonderful. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, my Tan.
And thank you for sharing yours. Whoop, 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 whoop. Next time.
Be
All right.
well.
Be well. End. That's it.